What the hell is on your face?
Check. I have visual proof that I shaved my beard
That's
co-
not that's not fair.
completely.
That's
I
not
sh-
fair.
I shaved completely because the Bears lost to the Vikings. Completely shaven. I have proof, so you could watch it back. It'll be a YouTube short on the channel. I didn't get a chance to get it out yet, and it's all back.
What do you got? Like you got like man jeans that you can actually grow facial hair at
I
a reasonable clip.
I might. I
this
didn't know.
this is like 3 years of growth right here.
Mega Dads Live is a mature rated podcast. It's for the mega dads, the mega moms, but not the mega kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
Uh, it's okay that you're late because I've been doing this while I've been waiting for you.
Is that a portal?
This is a PlayStation Portal right here.
What are you
Um,
playing on that? Is that Yakuza?
I'm currently playing Like a Dragon on
Oh
this
my
on this
god,
bad
look
boy.
at you. It looks great. Oh my god, that screen looks huge.
The screen is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like way bigger. It is not an OLED. We've been talking about this. Oh, I'm in a fight here, so I'm gonna pause it right now.
Boo.
It is not an OLED screen, but damn, it's big and the colors look fantastic. And I got this for the holidays from my wife. I didn't ask for it. I had it on my we use the Amazon wish list stuff, like, so you throw anything
Mhm.
that you think you might want to buy or something. So I had this on my Amazon wish list, not really asking for anything for Christmas. And we'll talk about why in a little bit here, because there's a lot we have to talk about. You and I haven't podcast forever.
Yeah.
So anyway, I opened this sucker up and I was completely blown away. Didn't really know what to expect with it. I've heard great things, but I've also heard the limitations, because there are some limitations on this device. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. The way it works is it connects to your PlayStation versus remote play, which is a feature that the PS5 has baked in. So you can theoretically play your PlayStation 5 on your iPad or on your smartphone or on like a backbone, right? It's got that built into it already. But the thing that makes this device stand out is it has all the DualSense integration built into it. So it's got the adaptive triggers, and it's got all the rumble functionality, and of course you don't have to do the crap of like using a virtual joystick or virtual buttons on a phone, because I've tried that, and god, that is
Yeah, it's rough.
terribly annoying. So your experience with a portal is only going to be as good as your connection, obviously. So if you don't have high-speed internet, you're probably not going to have a very good experience. Also, you want to hardwire your PS5 so that it's projecting the best signal you can. You don't want to have your PS5 running on Wi-Fi. I played this at home in the living room, and I had great experience with it. But the real test was to take it on the road. So the weekend after Christmas, we went to my in-laws in Wisconsin. I live in Minnesota. So it was over 100 miles away. And again, great experience. It hasn't been flawless. I've had some issues where, certain times of the day, my connection doesn't seem to be as strong. So you get a little bit of buffering or a little bit of delay. But I would say 90% of the time that I use this thing, it is flawless. And I'm playing obviously downstairs now. My PlayStation 5 is upstairs. I was doing a round of Fortnite on this before you came down, and I've been playing Yakuza. Totally smooth. They've also baked into this thing now for PlayStation Plus, whatever the high tier is right now. There's a beta for cloud streaming. So there is a selection of it's somewhere around like 40 games that you can play via cloud right now. And the thing that's cool about that is my son can be playing the PS5 locally, the games that he's downloaded, and I could, in theory, play a cloud game on this thing. So it is not always a secondary device, and PlayStation is working to continue to make this thing more independent. right? So that you can have somebody using your PS5 and you can be playing your Portal and you won't be interrupting each other. So
Shut up. How does that work?
it just runs the games off of the cloud. So you don't actually sync into your PS5. This just connects directly to the cloud.
So it's like, okay, I get it.
So it's like xCloud.
Let's say I leave my house.
Mhm.
I take my Portal.
Mhm.
Oops, I didn't leave my PlayStation on. Is that a thing?
You have to have it in rest mode.
Rest
So
mode.
if you
That's
shut,
not too bad.
yeah, if
Okay.
which I always do anyway, because it's quick start, quick start
Mm-hmm.
up or whatever. But yeah, you can't totally shut down your PlayStation. This will
Mm-hmm.
only connect to your PS5 if it is in rest mode. So if you're a rest mode person like me, then you never have to worry about it. But if you are a person that shuts down your PS5, you'll have to remember, or if you have like a power surge at home and that that takes your PS5 down or whatever, you have to have your PS5 in rest mode in order to connect to it.
That's pretty awesome.
But it's
That's
Portal.
pretty awesome.
It's Portal. Like I said, like you said, the screen is big and beautiful and colorful. Also, kind of a cool thing, with all of the apps and stuff that you have on your consoles these days, you could use this as you could watch Hulu or Netflix or whatever if you have that app on your PS5. So this will be going with us on all further vacations.
It looks like a perfect handheld experience, and that was the question. It's like, why do you need this? You could put your phone with a controller and just be okay. But once you see it, once you understand that it has the haptics built in, and the screen is way better than you can get on a lot of devices, then that kind of puts it over the edge into, this is a worthwhile accessory. But what's the price tag on that PlayStation Portal?
Boy, hold
Two?
on. I think it's 200. Hold on, let me
Watch
search
it
up
be
real quick.
watch it be $299.
199.
That's not that bad.
It's mostly the tech is like the controller. You know what I'm
But
saying?
it has
it is a dual sense, right?
It's not a tablet though afterwards, which kind of hurts it because it
Right.
should have it doesn't have a web browser, it doesn't have Netflix. I mean, it totally could.
And that's just it. Like, how much are they going to continue to bake into this thing? There's no Bluetooth support.
Oh
so that
my
sucks.
lord! What do you do for
So,
earbuds?
It's got an earphone dock. But yes, that's something they have to patch in. That's a big no-no. Like, they've got to put that in. And then of course you have to accept that this thing is a streaming device. So as with all streaming, same thing with your phone. Like, if you're in a place that doesn't have good Wi-Fi, you might, your phone takes a long time to load or whatever. This is going to have a bad experience. So it's not self-reliant like a Steam Deck. It's not that. It is absolutely a web-based device. So I don't want to overhype this thing by saying it's flawless, because it's certainly not. But the experience that I'm having with it, using it as a I don't have to interrupt the TV kind of thing. My wife can watch HGTV, and I don't have to kick her off the TV to play like a dragon. I can just sit there on the couch and play. As that, it is a good device for sure.
Sounds good. Looks great. I'm jealous. I'm jelly. The PlayStation ecosystem is a fickle one, but is definitely tempting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, let's take this opportunity to thank our members of Megadad's Boost. Boost members get this podcast boosted, which means they're listening 5 days early and ad-free. We thank you guys so much for your continued support, and if you want to be a member of Megadad's Boost, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/Megadads. It takes as little as $1 a month to help support this show and get it boosted. Our Boost members for January are Dave Soto, Jesse Waldack, Timothy Alf, the Bafo Yucks Dudes, Brandon Wilson, Brendan Myers, Brent, Emily Smith, Estuardo Zenteno, John DeFrancesco, Justin Masson, Luke Porter, the Nintendo Dads Podcast, Spokes, the Snack Network, and Andy Penzick. And the folks hanging out in the free membership tier, Solara Clark, Coconut Wizard, Avi Cohen, the One Track Gamers, John Layola, Michael Kwan, Sonny Megatron, Nima, Eric Wood, Petey McD, Mike Salvino, and Brian Scott. Once again, we thank you all for being a member of the Megadads community. We thank you for your support by being a member of Megadads Boost. And if you want to join those ranks, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/Megadads. Now back to the show. What about you? How were your holidays?
The holidays were amazing. Now, if you're listening and you are an adult who just happens to take liberties with your very young children and watch the show, not recommended, by the way. This is for the mega dads and mega moms and the mega in-betweens and all that, like not the kids, but Santa came to visit because we do this. As you know, if you watched our holiday special, you know, Santa comes and our 4-year-old is into it. She's like writing letters to Santa. She's all about it. My favorite part of Christmas is Santa, like the whole thing.
Yep.
So we have Santa come in his full garb, you know, his red, you know, like pimp jacket and, you know, red hat and all that. And, you know, he's stuffed with pillows. So he looks nice and chunky and all that. So in the last minute, my Santa, who was supposed to come, got mono.
Oh no.
So we had a family friend, shout out to Tank, awesome, makes
Your
time.
Santa's name is Tank?
Yeah, his name is Tank. So he stops by, you know, once a year and he helps me out. Awesome. So what ended up happening is I had to get a replacement because Tank got mono. So I have my cousin come through and he's so nice. He's like, sure, I'll do it for her, no problem. And I'm thinking that I set him up for success where I'm like, here's the suit, here's whatever, you know, my sister's helping him get in the suit, you know, come in through this door, you know, we're making it seem like he's coming through the roof, all that. So here's what he does. I'm thinking I've covered all my bases. I'm like, great. The mystery continues. We have the Santa thing going on. We've got a stranger playing Santa. So here's what happens. Walks in, right? And my cousin goes, hey, what's up, mija? Just like normal voice.
Oh,
right?
no.
But you know, he's from Humboldt Park. He's the streets, like, you know, a little bit. He knows, like, so he's like, what's up? You know, like so I had neglected to tell him that Santa talks like Santa. So
You gotta get in the role, man.
visually, I give him the eyeballs, like really, like, and then he started doing something. He's like, oh, ho ho ho, but like talking regular. Like talking like, hey, anybody got a beer or whatever? Just like, you know,
So
and
it was like your Santa.
he did a really good job and she was completely into it. She was very happy and it went off without a hitch. And the mystery of Santa continues. The nice, like, you know, you're trying to shape your kid's life into like the very nicest moments for their childhood and all that, and we did it. And it went off fine, but he's all like, what's up, mija, like how are you, like, oh, what's this over here, like just like talking completely normally. And I'm just like, you know, he's not like doing the ho ho ho. And I'm just like, come on, like, I'm like, you gotta throw he I think he did a couple ho ho ho's, so it was fine, it worked out. But you know, you gotta vet these Santas, you know what I mean? You gotta give them
you gotta go through training. There's like a whole, you gotta set them up, like you said, for success. But that's amazing.
Set them up for success.
Santa from the streets. Santa from the streets.
Santa from the streets was there. Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to say really quick was we got my son a 3D printer.
Oh yeah, this is great.
And he's been, it's set up with like a couple preset, you know, make a square, make a pyramid or whatever. But there's all sorts of websites that you can go and download free 3D models. And he made me a 3D chocobo. I hold that up to the screen there.
It's beautiful.
It's like a baby chocobo, so it's got like the chibi head or whatever.
Yeah, I like it. No, that's cute. That's awesome.
And now all of a sudden, like, my ass is looking at, you know, filament, and I'm looking at like, what can I make for myself now?
You can make all sorts of little like dongles.
This shit is crazy. This took like, I don't know, 2 hours to print.
Oh, really?
Not that bad. But it's absolutely gorgeous. So
I like how it comes in the colors like that automatically. So whatever you print kind of like looks like gradient.
Looks cool. Yeah, it's shiny and stuff. So if you need any 3D little doodads. You want a Halo Master Chief helmet or something. We're your guy.
They have websites where you go on, you find it. A lot of them are free, and
Yep.
you just like print stuff. I did a dock for my Switch at one point, like
do you have
controller
one?
holders. Yeah, I ordered them where like you can just pick what you want,
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
someone else will print it and just
Make it
send
for you.
it to you for the extra fee. They're like, if you pay for the materials and shipping, we'll like,
Oh,
you
so
know,
we
for a
can make
small fee,
we can
we'll
make
give it.
money on this shit.
You could do a lot of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. There's Megadad's merch going to be coming out of that 3D printer.
All right,
merch.
here we go. It's all about the money.
The place to be for Megadad's socials is the Megadad's Discord, where you can engage with your favorite Megadads as well as other friends of the Megadads every single day in our stress-free and welcoming social space. When you're a member of our Discord, you will get alerts for all of our content drops, so you never have to miss a review, a podcast, or a hot take. Partake in our fun weekly Megadad's holidays like Waluigi Wednesday and Final Fantasy Sunday. Megadad's Discord is fun, free, and follows you wherever you go. Join us today and become part of the conversation.
This episode, we're going to be doing our 2025 predictions. Now, a couple of weeks back, we revisited our 2024 predictions. You did better than I did, but we were about 50-50. This week, we're forecasting what we think is going to happen in the year 2025. And I kind of swung for the fences, even though I wasn't very accurate last year. I just think it's more fun to kind of go a little bit crazy on these. I'll start, and then we'll go around and we'll go every other. My first prediction for 2025 is that Resident Evil 9 will be unveiled during a PlayStation State of Play and is going to release this fall. They've been buzzing about Resident Evil for a long time. There's all sorts of rumors right now about who's going to be the protagonist. There's a lot of talk about it being open world. And the last several Resident Evils have been announced during State of Plays or showcases, things like that. And of course, we've got like they've been in VR mode for PlayStation. So Capcom kind of has a weird relationship with PlayStation, just on this property, especially. So I feel like it's kind of in line that this next game would be unveiled at a PlayStation State of Play. Resident Evil 9, its time is due. It's been several years since the release of 8, and I think we're due.
Okay, huge question for you, and this is your bonus points. Resident Evil has had like an identity, not crisis, but they're finding themselves as far as like, are we going the more action route?
Yep.
Are we going to go the more, first person perspective and slow and plotting where you only see your hands? And it's kind of like, where do you think that this one is going to land? Because there was that one that they had the identity crisis where they split it up and they're like, well, let's just do 3 characters, 3 different campaigns. Some are action, some are more whatever. So they have already kind of tripped up like that years ago, but it seems like they found their footing and they kind of know a little bit more about what people want. What are your thoughts?
I would, my gut would say that they'd stick with that traditional third person action formula that they've been doing with the remakes. But everything that I'm hearing buzz-wise is that this thing is going to go in a completely different direction. Apparently the Winters storyline from 7 and 8 is wrapped up, so this has the opportunity to be like a whole new trilogy or a brand new storyline kicking off. They've kind of done this thing right now where they're running their current storyline parallel with all these remakes that they're doing, but this is an opportunity for them to do something completely different and still release more remakes because they've got a lot of older games that they still need to recover. So I feel like 9 is their experimental game, right? And they're probably cooking like a Code Veronica remake or something like that in the background that we don't know about, maybe Resident Evil 5. So I would not be surprised if 9 is something completely different and radical, and it's their opportunity to kind of test what Resident Evil can be. And so I'm very excited about Resident Evil 8 ended, spoilers for those of you who have not beat Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 ends with like a massive flash forward. It goes like, I don't know, 15 years into the future. So like this could be something really interesting. I'm very excited to see what it could be.
That's great. No, Resident Evil is on a hot streak.
Mhm.
That's undeniable. They're on the upswing. I just hope that they keep nailing it. So great.
All right, what is your first prediction?
So I'm not going to take the easy way out and say that the Switch 2 is coming in 2025 because it's pretty much confirmed. But the more that I hear and the more that I think it makes sense is they need a launch title that is going to be a system seller. And of all the games that keep selling like hotcakes all the time, no matter how many months in a row it's on the sales charts, I think Mario Kart 9 is going to be the flagship title for the Switch 2. And it's going to have to bring the house because they really did a great job on 8. They have an abundance of tracks. You know, they have like all the DLCs and all of that, and it looks great. If you play Mario Kart right now on an underpowered Switch,
It's fantastic.
You can see the hairs on like Donkey Kong. You can see like all the subtle animations, like everything. I'm like, how could this look better? But they're going to say, guess what? We can even make it look better. We can add features that you didn't know that you wanted, characters that you didn't know you wanted, and that's going to be the launch game. Mario Kart 9.
It's funny that you say that because that is exactly my next prediction.
Get out of here. You're lying. Oh my God.
It's my prediction, word for word. Switch 2 will launch with Mario Kart 9 and will have the most tracks ever for a Mario Kart game, including all of the Mario Kart 8 tracks preloaded into it. And the reason that I put that into my prediction is because they've already confirmed that this thing is backwards compatible with 8, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just going to take everything that 8 was,
Yeah.
and then add more, almost like another like big ass DLC, right?
Mhm.
Because Mario Kart 8 is almost a platform in and of itself. The amount of
Yes.
tracks are absurd. It takes
Mhm.
it takes almost everything that I've loved about this entire franchise. The only thing it's missing is I was a huge fan of Double Dash, and I loved that feature where you would switch the racer and the passenger. I
Mhm.
don't know if you remember that game where you'd press the button, you'd have one guy in the front, one guy in the back. I love that feature. I'm not thinking that's going to come back, but that is the only thing missing from Mario Kart 8, if you ask me, is the double dash mechanic. So I think if Nintendo is smart, they'll just continue to push Mario Kart almost as its own platform. Just expand. Don't make anything radically different. Just more. And I think you're dead on. I think if this thing launches with Mario Kart 9, instant smash success.
So 48 tracks is what it originally had, and 8 Deluxe got another 48 additional retro courses for a total
crazy
96 courses.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm saying they have to come up with different modes and racers or something like that. Like, there's got to be more to the formula that they can add. Give me item options at the very least, where you can say what items are on and off, so we can take off the blue shell and start playing this kart racer the way that it's supposed to be played, without the cheating blue shell.
What would be your, like, if you had an ultimate wish for the next Mario Kart? What would your number one ask be? The thing you would
absolutely want the most? 100% item options. If you think of Super Smash Brothers and you think of like what you can do when you turn items off or have certain ones on, it adds a longevity to the game that you can customize it and make it that much more fun. And I think it gives it even bigger legs. So even more than tracks, I would definitely want more just options, quality of life stuff.
I would want an increased focus on battle mode. To me, the older Mario Kart games, like the Super Nintendo version, the Nintendo 64 version, the best part of those games at that time was the battle mode. And while Mario Kart 8 has it in there, it's certainly not the focus. And when I think of games like Destruction All-Stars for PS5, that is such a crazy battle experience where you have these huge arenas and there's just so much going on there. Like hazards on the track, things the track will modify during the course of the battle, things like that. I would love for Nintendo to put like a real emphasis on a dynamic and robust battle system to kind of, because I don't go to that. When we play
Yeah.
Mario Kart as a family, we don't ever do battle mode.
Yeah.
So I would love to see more of a focus on that.
It's going
All
to be
right.
good no matter what.
It is. It's going to be amazing. All right. Your next prediction, please.
This is a shocker because Fortnite is the undisputed king, still remains. There's just something about it where you can pick up and play, especially once they did no build mode, especially once they did the additional modes, which is like game within a game where you can play like a Rock Band thing, you play Lego, all that. But Fortnite is in trouble in 2025, Adam.
Oh, no. What's happening?
Fortnite's in trouble. So it's not necessarily that there are other games that are better suited to take the crown. They're going to have a trouble keeping things fresh. They have released Fortnite OG, or like the original map, a couple different times now, because they're like callback, reset. They go from getting very complex with the new map to, you know, iteration, new weapon, new this. Then they reset and they say, all right, everybody calm down.
Yep.
We don't have rocket fists right now. We don't have lightsabers. We don't have whatever, all this stuff. And then they reset and they say, calm down. We go back. Then they do it again. Eventually it's going to get old, Adam. Eventually people are going to be like, what else can they do? What else haven't they done? And this extends to the characters, because right now, I think some of the latest ones were like, it was like Snoop Dogg and like Martha Stewart. And like now we're getting into who isn't in Fortnite, what media, what IP, you know, who's not in there. And this is something that Super Smash Brothers had an issue with, because they're like, who can we add? And it was like the top like 5, top 10, like, oh, they haven't added these. Then they added them. So now who's left? And I think that it's going to be interesting. And there's going to be other players that are coming up that are going to take people away a little bit.
Like
so,
Marvel Rivals.
Who's not in Fortnite?
Well, it's very curious that I hear you say this, because about a year ago, they announced this partnership with Disney, that they were going to have this expansive Disney implementation. And it's been trickling in little by little. Right now, Baymax is in the Battle Pass. They've had like some of the villains. They've had the Incredibles. But they when they announced this partnership, they said that there were going to be massive experiences within Fortnite in the Disney, like almost like envision it like a Disney World within Fortnite.
Yeah.
Do you think that comes this year, or do you think that's still a ways off?
You see, that's something that they would need to. That's something that they need to succeed at. I think that if you look at the way that the new games have played out, like the new modes, I think it was a little bit rushed and a little bit too much, too fast, because they're good. Like I played the Lego one for a while. I played the racing one. I played them all, but I think they're just niche and small. And someone had a great idea. They're like, Fortnite is a platform. We all know
Yes.
that. But now it's the game within a game, like main menu screen goes into other game modes. So it was a big idea, and I don't think that it hit with a splash as much as they really want. So I think that they have to bring it out and that they'll wait on it. So 2025 is too soon. They're going to try to them, they don't feel like they have like an issue yet. The money is probably just rolling in. It's probably expected. It's not in crisis mode, but it's going to get a little bit rocky in 2025. That's what I think. So we're seeing the latest skins. We had Wonder Woman out there. We had Snoop Dogg. Dragon Ball skins came back. But I mean, who's not in Fortnite? Like, what are you really? What's going to get you excited? Billie Eilish like was in there like in April. Like now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit here. They could put you in Fortnite.
The one glaring omission is Nintendo. There's zero Nintendo.
You can't do it. You can't have Mario shotgun someone in the back.
Man, that would be so freaking sweet, wouldn't it?
I mean, you could. No one thought Smash
Olimar with
was
a rocket
happen.
launcher.
When Smash Brothers happened in that commercial, you know, with all the fuzzy characters like running down the hill, like holding hands, and then they start fighting, you remember that and you're like, why is Pikachu like fighting Donkey Kong, fighting like Mario.
Yeah.
Like nobody thought it would happen.
We need more other video game IP. Like I want to see Final Fantasy in there. I want to see Mega Man in there. What else we got? I would love to see
Fantasy would be great.
I would love to see like Ghost of Tsushima in there, sorting it
Yeah.
up. He's perfect for this season. It's in like feudal Japan. Yeah, they for a while they had a lot of video game characters, and it's kind of tapered off. So, all right,
Yeah.
my final prediction: PlayStation will finally have their showcase. They did not have a showcase all of 2024. They had State of Plays,
Wow.
zero showcase, which it just blew my mind. I couldn't believe they didn't do it. So my prediction is PlayStation will finally have their showcase, most likely in the spring, and it will be a complete juggernaut with gameplay of Intergalactic, a release date for Ghost of Yotai, because they're saying it's 2025, and finally a full trailer for Wolverine. What do you think my odds are?
Very good. Your odds are very good. I don't know. I forget when Wolverine was like teased.
It was like over 2 years ago.
And then there were leaks, or there were some rumblings that is coming soon, probably just because somebody saw something in development. But I think that it's going to be a very strong year for PlayStation, because they kind of held it close to the chest, and now it's time to pay up. They're going to do what Xbox has failed to do, which is like, it's coming, and then like actually like deliver something instead of just have it be promises. So
yeah,
very, very likely. When did you say this was happening?
I would think it's if my lineup right here is what it is, it's got to be in the spring, right?
That's what I thought.
It's got to be early enough so that they can, Ghost of Yotai has already been announced. Well, here's going to be some gameplay and a release date. We've already announced Intergalactic with a teaser, so here's a little bit of gameplay and a little bit of talk about that. And Wolverine obviously was teased forever ago. There's so much that we don't know about what's going on. We don't know what's going on with Bend Studio. We don't know what's going on with Santa Monica. We don't know what's going on with we're the ones that made Dreams and Little Big Planet.
I thought that they disbanded them.
Did they?
Not? Hold on.
There's just so much. There's just so much that we don't know about what's going on with PlayStation right now that I think. I mean, I always get my hopes up when it comes to PlayStation showcases, but this has the potential to be like massive.
Media Molecule.
Media Molecule. That's what it is. Yeah.
Media Molecule.
So I'm hoping, man. I'm really, really hoping. I was let down quite a bit in 2024 with the fact that they did not do a single showcase.
Yeah, it's interesting, and then Sony's going to have a very strong year, and this leads into my prediction for Xbox, which is that it's going to have a very rough year, but I didn't want to cop out on that because I think Xbox is on kind of like a downward trend. But I think that the Xbox Cloud dongle, if you want to consider it a accompanying like accessory or console, but they're going to have something like a Roku device that's going to be streaming, where you can plug it into a TV that's going to help reduce latency, and you're going to be able to do the cloud gaming. Now, I have been a proponent of cloud gaming for a long time. I use my Steam Deck to play xCloud. I used it all the time, and the lag is pretty much non-existent to me. Like, I've played very complex games, like kind of Twitch fast, even some like shooter games. Like, it works so well, and you get the most out of these handheld devices, which I think are on the rise.
Yeah.
So for it to just plug into a TV, I recently plugged my Steam Deck into a dock accessory to put it on my large TV, so I can be handheld like I normally am on the couch. But I could also, if I want to have that big screen, blow it up. The resolution isn't so sharp, because when you stretch it like that, you really want to play at like 1080p or even 720. But this cloud solution for gaming is only going to get better. All the naysayers of like, oh no, I want to own a console, I understand that, but it's too convenient. The technology is too good, and Xbox needs to do something radical to say, look, we have something to offer. And this whole, this is an Xbox thing, they can't sit on this dongle idea anymore. They have to get it out. If it's going to work, it's going to work now, or it's going to work never, because you're going to run out of time before the executives get sick of all the downward trend and start chopping heads. If Phil Spencer gets fired this year, I wouldn't be surprised.
Really? Holy crap.
He would retire with grace.
Retire? Retire or fire?
Retire.
Okay.
They would not fire. It would be, they would pay him to say that he was retiring for sure. Right.
It's too much. You'd be burning a lot of goodwill.
Yeah,
there.
They'd be like, "You did what to Phil, you bastard?"
Yeah.
That's what I think for Xbox. It's going to be a rough year, and they need to go all in on this cloud thing. They had one last ace in the sleeve, which is this virtual, like, I forget what they called it, Series N or Series something, and it's going to be a dongle.
You know, I was listening to some other folks talking, and I was listening to them talking about Xbox and everything's an Xbox, and there's rumors going around that they're going to like farm out like third-party Xbox hardware, like they do with like PCs. Like other people would be able to make Xbox. There's just so much shit going on right now with Xbox that people don't know what's going on with it because of the fact that they're kind of like tempering down the idea of like console generations, right? And then on the flip side of that, I was listening to somebody else talk about the incredible buzz coming around Switch 2, right? There's nothing better than a new console release. Switch 2 is going to be so much fun. We're so excited about it. I'm curious how you feel as an Xbox fan, the idea of what do you think about like when there's a new console coming? Like that's a very exciting time, right? We're getting pumped up for a new release. Xbox and Microsoft are kind of toning down that rhetoric. There might not be a next Xbox wave, right? There might not be a next generation. It's just going to continue to go on forever. Is that kind of tame the excitement?
Yes, because if given the choice right now, like if I had $500 to spend, and let's say they were all announced tomorrow, a new Steam Deck, a new Switch, the new PlayStation, and the new Xbox, Xbox would be very far down that list. Knowing that my current Xbox Series X would play probably what's going forward very well, and knowing that cloud is a thing, that I could probably stream the newer games that are coming out, just stream them to my Steam Deck, I will have access to these games. I could play them on PC. I have a PC. All of these options are there. So as soon as you take away the fact that you want to buy a console to have access to things that you may not have access to, there's no exclusives that I see that are worth having. Not on the horizon anyway. I would pass. Xbox would be my third choice maybe. Like if I had $500 to spend, right? I would get a Quest. I would get a Oculus Quest 3.
There you go.
I would get a PlayStation. I would get a new Steam Deck with an OLED screen. There's just too many benefits to the other options. So that's how I feel about it. I love new hardware. It is exciting. You should get that once every like 5-6 years, something coming down the pipe, maybe a little bit more, but they're really stretching it these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Xbox is it's in some hot water in 2025. They're going to lose me, Adam. They're going to lose me sooner or later. I just need to make some more money to be a PlayStation fan.
This program is powered by Megadad's Boost, our public support program. You can join at patreon.com/Megadads. For over 10 years, Megadads has been bringing you the best in podcasts, reviews, interviews, family fun, and so much more. As an independent media organization, we rely on audience members like you to help support what we do, to ensure that Megadads can continue to bring you the great content that you enjoy. If you've been watching, listening, or playing along through the years, please consider lending your support by becoming a member of Megadads Boost. Memberships start for as little as $1 a month, and you can start collecting your Boost rewards from day one. Rewards like art cards, early access podcasts, reviews, gameplay clips, and so much more. Please visit patreon.com/Megadads and become a member today. You can help us continue to make more of that Megadad's coverage you've loved over the last 10 years well into the future by becoming a member of Megadad's Boost. Well, that sound means it's time for the caboose. This episode of Megadad's Live is almost over, and bringing up the rear is the caboose, where we give you a recommendation of something outside the world of video games that we think you might enjoy. And I took my family to see Sonic 3. And I gotta say, this is a weird-ass franchise. This is a weird property. Leaving the movie theater, I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, this is I wouldn't say an unsuccessful video game character, but like he's like the C-grade character, right? But somehow, beyond all odds, he's created this incredibly successful movie franchise that just leans into absurdity. The best parts of the Sonic movies are Jim Carrey. It's yes. Dr. Robotnik. And in Sonic 3, no spoilers for Sonic 3, but we sat through this movie, and about, 20 so minutes into it, I was getting worried. I was like, this is kind of tame. Like, this is just kind of going through the motions. It's pretty much exactly what I expected. Sonic's on a mission, blah, blah, blah. But then Jim Carrey comes on screen, and he owns this film until the credits roll. I just about pissed myself in the theaters laughing at how funny this is, which again leans into how weird these movies are, because this dude's retired. He only comes back to make Sonic movies.
It's so weird. It
is so strange, but I loved it. It's another great Sonic movie, and it is a showcase for Jim Carrey. I would be all in on just Robotnik. Like, they can take Sonic out of it. Like, just make a Robotnik movie and I'll be happy. So he's already said he's ready to come back for Sonic 4. So this thing's got legs. I recommend go see Sonic 3.
6 years ago, I was in Vegas, and I was going through the shops in the Venetian, and there was a art store thing, and I'm walking through, and it's like, this piece is by Jim Carrey. And he's gone through a phase where, like you said, he's like, I'm done with acting. I'm doing like art now. You got real philosophical, all this. But then he turns around, does the Sonic movie of all things. Yeah. Comes out of retirement to do like an amazingly funny animated performance that he's just perfect for. This is going to be one of the most odd choices that you're ever going to find for an actor or actress of like where their career just kind of did this loop. It's like, oh, Jim Carrey, excellent, blah, blah, blah. Then he became an artist, and like, oh, then there was the Sonic phase. Like, what? Like, but no, it's funny. I've only seen Sonic 1. I slept on 2. I didn't hear too much about 2. But
I loved it. 3
looks good. My brother rushed to see it, and he said it was good. So yeah, this is good. I'm happy for Sonic. He's back. There's so much Sonic merch when you go to the stores and you look around, and all these toys. Like, my nephew's really into it. Sonic's back.
Sonic is absolutely back.
My caboose is ice skating. So over the winter break, I did a lot. I did a lot of partying. I did a lot of hanging out with family, etc. And we went ice skating. And it was my daughter's first time at 4 years old. And she was great. She's like, let me go. Like, she wanted to go and do it by herself. And she was great. And then my wife, she has a problem with one of her ankles. She went out for the first time as well, because she's never tried it. And I'm holding her up, and, we're going, and she did pretty well. And then I'm like, okay, let's go faster. She immediately falls. Boom. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, totally my fault for like pushing the situation. So I didn't protect her the right way, but she fell, but she only landed on her butt. She was fine. And ice skating was fun overall. If you haven't done it in a while, go ahead and do it. It's actually quite cheap. Like, if you rent skates somewhere, it could be $5-10.
Yep.
And you can go into like an open skate for free, basically, other than that. So I would encourage people to go, to be very careful and, have somebody supporting you. Like, don't hit your head or anything like that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I actually did the same thing for the first time probably in 20 years. I took my family ice skating. I'm not any good at it. But the same tip as you have is, like, if you're going to fall on your ass.
Yeah.
There'll be railings and stuff like that, and my kids were holding onto the railing. I'm like, get off the railing, get in the middle of the ice, because if you fall by the railing, you might hit the railing. So your instinct is to hold on to something, but it's actually better if you get out in the middle there. So if you're gonna fall, just fall on your flabby parts.
Yes, absolutely. Ice skating's fun.
It
Be
absolutely is. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Megadads Live. Thank you so much for watching here on youtube.com/Megadads, for listening on the podcast feed. Make sure that you join our community Discord. It is free and it is fun. The link is in the description show notes. We will see you next week for an all-new episode of Megadads Live.